Hello, my name is Jeremiah Merriweather, and today I will be giving a tutorial on how to repair a potentiometer inside of a PS5 controller. The topics I will be covering in today's video are why did I choose this topic, what is a potentiometer, what is the problem that I'm solving, and then firstly how to open a PlayStation 5 controller and then change out its potentiometer. Now, why did I choose this topic? Since I was in middle school, I've always enjoyed to open anything that I've owned, whether it was working or not, to see how it was working and um, what pieces came together to use for me to use the things that I love to use every day. This went from me doing it with little toys and remotes to then doing it with bigger things such as gaming controllers and etc. At first, I was going mainly off instinct and any sources from YouTube or Google that I found at the time. But as time went on, came the knowledge and experience that helped me to decide the career that I wanted to do as an adult. Mechanical engineering is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And even though fixing a PlayStation 5 controller doesn't fall into the specifications of the career that I want to do, it's still something that I enjoy. Um, and that is to be able to fix anything that comes my way, big or small. And it's something that I strive to do the best that I can. Now, information about potentiometers regarding the PlayStation 5 controller. A potentiometer is a small electronic component that sits inside of the analog stick of a controller, and its purpose is that it acts as a sensor measuring the stick's position relative to the amount of rotation on either its X or Y axis. These varying degrees of rotation translate an electrical signal that is sent to the console through the controller and is interpreted as movement made in game. This is something that analog sticks are able to do better than keyboard and mouse, being able to translate your movement into the game omnidirectionally. This is not something that keyboard and mouse is able to do. They're only able to move within a set degree of motion. For example, if you wanted to move, let's say 51 degrees up and to the left, you would be able to do this with an analog stick. This isn't something you're able to do with a keyboard and mouse. The problem with potentiometers is that advancements in technology have helped us to see how obsolete this is as an option for analog controllers. Because of its design, there are two components in there, one being a wiper, a metal piece that sits inside of its cell called a wiper mounting bracket, and a resistive material that sits inside of a plastic housing. As this metal wiper rubs against this resistive material, friction causes its breakdown, and over time, the movements interpreted are either not read at all or they're misinterpreted, and it causes you to start moving unintentionally in game. This could be a problem when it comes to things like aiming or moving. I have an example of this being done here, and it's the problem that I'm going to be solving in this tutorial. The controller has developed stick drift with use, and now it's moving on its own. As you can see, when I let go of the analog stick, the character in game is still moving, and this will affect things like moving, shooting, etc. Now, this is the tutorial section. The potentiometer kit that I have used for the tutorial is shown below. I will leave a link for it in the description of this YouTube video. Your first step is that you're going to take the triangle paddle and use it to remove the back of the controller shell, like I'm doing so in this. Once you have done it to both sides, you want to gently remove the clips from each part of the controller going up to the base where the middle section is at, being careful not to snap it out. Once you have done that, you're going to look for two screws on either side of the controller, and you're going to unscrew those with the 25mm screwdriver that's provided with the kit, if you choose to have it. Now you're going to use the pry tool that's included with the kit to remove both the L1 and R1 bumpers from the controller when you're done with this. Just a piece of caution, when you do pry these out, they will fly like this. Now you're going to locate the screw that is under the L1 and R1 bumpers and remove that with the 25mm screwdriver. Once you have removed all the screws, you are going to use the pry tool to carefully open the controller along the base of it on the inside and outside. And when you do that, it should look like this. Now, you're going to use the tweezers to gently remove the battery cord from the motherboard, being careful not to damage any of the wires surrounding the controller's unit. And then you're going to locate 4 ribbons and 1 screw. You're going to remove that screw with a 25mm screwdriver to remove the battery holding cell. And then you're going to remove the ribbon clips from the motherboard using a pair of tweezers. Once you have removed all the required screws and ribbons, you're going to gently pull the motherboard through the face of the controller, and it should look like this. I was not able to include a video section of me doing so myself, but I have left
Since this here is the
video
potentiometer that controls the y-axis, we want to carefully open it and fish out the little wiper that makes contact with the resistance track.
As you can see, they're removing the
Blow some compressed air to get any debris out that
the
may be
wiper
caught
from the
inside,
resistive
and clean
track.
it with a contact cleaner,
And they're
or
making
you
sure
can
to
use
clean
rubbing
both the
alcohol.
potentiometer
Make sure to check
and
the resistance
new
track is cleaned and not worn
wiper.
out. Carefully put the wiper back in place and close the green lid.
Now, this is a picture of me doing it, and once you have done this step, you can close the controller up the same way you had it open, in the steps reverse, and enjoy using your controller. A link to a more in-depth tutorial will be provided in the description of this video, because this method only works if your resistive material hasn't been broken down due to friction from the metal wiper. If that is an option, then you will have to use soldering as a method to fix your controller. Thank you. This is a video of me being able to use my controller with no stick drift, because I was able to use this method that I have provided in this video.